Delilah is one of the most famous and complicated women in the Bible. Her story teaches us about trust, temptation, and the consequences of the choices we make. Her story is closely tied to Samson, a man gifted by God with incredible strength. But Samson's strength wasn't just physical. It was connected to his commitment to God, symbolized by his uncut hair, a sign of a sacred vow, a Nazirite dedication from birth. Samson had already faced great battles, defeating enemies with courage and faith. Yet, despite his strength, he was human. He had desires, emotions, and vulnerabilities like everyone else. Delilah, a woman from the valley of Sorek, caught Samson's attention. The rulers of the Philistines, enemies of Samson's people, wanted to discover the secret of his strength. They offered Delilah a reward, tempting her to betray him. Delilah asked Samson many times to reveal the source of his power. At first, he gave false answers, protecting himself and the sacred gift God had given him. But Delilah was persistent. She pressed him day after day, wearing down his caution. Eventually, Samson trusted her enough to share the truth. He revealed that his strength would leave him if his hair were cut. Delilah betrayed that trust. While Samson slept, she called a man to shave his hair, and just like that, Samson's strength vanished. The Philistines captured him, bound him, and put out his eyes. Samson's story could have ended there with despair, humiliation, and defeat. But this is also a story of redemption and hope. Even in captivity, Samson learned humility and the importance of turning back to God. He prayed for one final chance, and God granted him strength one last time. Samson used that strength to topple the Philistine temple, defeating his enemies and fulfilling God's plan. His story shows that even when we fall or make mistakes, God's purpose can still prevail. Delilah's story also teaches us personal lessons. First, it warns about misplaced trust. Samson trusted Delilah with his deepest secret, but she was working against him. We must be careful about who we open up to, especially about our vulnerabilities. Second, the story shows how temptation and persistent pressure can lead us to reveal things we shouldn't. Sometimes, in relationships or situations, we might share too much or let our guard down in ways that hurt us. Third, it reminds us that our choices have consequences, not just for ourselves but for those around us. Samson's capture caused suffering and loss, yet it also became a moment for growth, humility, and reliance on God. Finally, Delilah's story teaches about betrayal, forgiveness, and God's redemption. Even after losing everything, Samson's life demonstrates that God's strength can restore, empower, and guide us toward fulfilling our purpose. Her story encourages us to be wise about whom we trust, to guard our secrets carefully, and to remember that even when betrayal occurs, hope for restoration remains. Faith, humility, and turning back to God can transform even the hardest situations. So if this story made you reflect on trust, temptation, or the choices you make, think about your own life. Have you ever faced betrayal, temptation, or a moment where your trust was tested? Remember, mistakes don't define the end. They can be the beginning of growth, redemption, and renewed purpose. If this story inspired you, share your thoughts below. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more Bible stories that teach timeless lessons about faith, wisdom, and life choices. And before you go, grab our ebook link in description below to learn God's methods for overcoming the challenges of life. Thank you. See you on the next video.